From here starts the speaking test. This is the speaking mock test of the International English Language Testing System taking place online in Ross IELTS Academy. The candidate is Reza Haqnazari, candidate number 01432557. The examiner is Mehrnoush Shafi, examiner number 443532. Good morning. My name is Mehrnoush Shafi. Would you please tell me your full name?
Good morning. My name is Reza Haqnazari, and you can call me Reza.
Okay. And can I see your identification, please?
Yes, here.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Great. So we can now get started with the first part of the exam. In the first part, I will ask you some personal questions. First, let's talk about your house. What kind of house do you live in?
The house which I live in actually is in suburbs of the city, and it's a cottage in which we can access to Urmia Lake easily, and it has a breathtaking view. And it isn't very enormous, but it's good, and it has 2 rooms, which one of them is my room, but I have lots of things in my room. And
Okay, good.
yes.
And what do you usually do in your house?
Nowadays, because of the pandemic or coronavirus, I can say I'm trapped at home because I can't go out. And most of the time, I'm following the series of Netflix, and because I'm a fan of different series, especially the series of Netflix. And sometimes, because I'm an avid reader, sometimes I read novels and different magazines too.
Thank you. Great. And do you plan to live there in your house for a long time?
Everything depends really, because if I will be vaccinated as soon as possible. I don't think so, because I like to go out. I like to socialize with other people too, because most of the time before coronavirus, I used to go biking and mountain climbing. But unfortunately, nowadays, I'm very restricted because of pandemic, and I can't go out. But
Thank
I think
you.
everything
Great.
depends on.
Now let's talk about chocolate. Do you like chocolate?
Yes, if I like to be honest, I love chocolates. I adore them, and I know. I think I know all of them really good. And
So what is your favorite flavor?
mhm. My favorite flavor is the cocoa, and because of that, I love most of the chocolate that are cocoa based. But sometimes I like to try other flavors too, like the chocolate and the sometimes the cafe too.
Okay,
Uh,
and have you ever given chocolate as a present to someone?
Yes, a lot, because I consider that it's one of the adorable present for everyone. Because of that, in any occasion, I like to present chocolate to my friends or even for my families. For example, when is the birthday of my mom or dad, in these occasions, I like to give chocolate for my
Okay,
mom or dad.
perfect.
Yes.
Now let's move on to talk about dream. Do you dream much at nights?
Um, Sometimes yes, sometimes yes, but most of the time, because do you mean the dream when we are sleeping, or the dream for future?
Do you dream much at nights when
Okay,
sleeping?
okay,
Yeah.
at night. Okay, okay. Because I work a lot during the day, and I don't have time. I have a full-time schedule. Because of that,
Mm-hmm.
when I go to bed, actually I don't know when I sleep, and I don't know when I get up, and I lose the track of time. And
Mm-hmm.
when I sleep very deeply. And because of that, most of the dreams that I see, I can't remember exactly well.
Okay,
Because of
and do you
that,
think dreams will affect life?
yes, why not? Because when we dream something, it's exactly. I think I can say that it's uh, mm, it would be a issue in our life that is rooted in our dreams too. And
Mm-hmm.
because of that, when we dream something, I think it will affect our life too. If we remember that dream, sometimes it leads to change our mind for our
Okay,
plans too.
thank you so much. Great. So we are now done with the first part of the exam, and we can
Hmm.
move on to the second part.
Okay.
Now, in part two, I will give you a card with a topic, and you will have to talk about the topic for 2 minutes.
Okay.
But before you talk, you will have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and you can make notes to help you if you wish. Do you
Hmm.
understand?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. So now I'm sharing my screen with you. Okay, so I would like you to describe a house or apartment you would like to have or you would like to live in. So
Hmm.
now you have 1 minute to think about this topic and it starts now.
Okay.
Okay, now your 1 minute is over. And now you can
Okay.
talk about this topic for 2 minutes and do not worry if I stop you. So
Hmm.
you may start now.
Okay. If I would live to an apartment, definitely I will choose an apartment in Dubai, because most of the apartments which is in Dubai, they are very um advanced, and they have all cutting edge technology. And uh, I think they have access to all of the things that we like to live better and in efficient manner. And in this apartment, I will have all my online courses because we don't have a problem with the internet. Because really, actually, in Iran, we have lots of problem with the speed of internet, and I worry a lot about that because uh, I have heard that they will like to again put little restrictions and limitations on internet. So I will definitely choose a city like Dubai to have my online courses easily. And I think I will definitely live with my parents, with my mom and dad, because they like to live easily and in apartment in which they can have access to shopping malls easily. Because in these kind of apartments, easily we can have access to metro, to different stations, and to different facilities. And most of them have the breathtaking view of the sea. And I would like to live there because easily I can have access to different sport complex and even to different shopping malls. in which there are lots of cozy restaurants and different
Thank you very
recreation.
much.
Mhm.
Great.
Okay.
So we are now done with the second part of the exam, so we can move on to the third part.
Okay.
Good. So, in the second part, Reza, you talked about a house or an apartment that you would like to live in. Now, in part three, I want to ask you some questions related to this topic.
Okay.
So, do you think it's better to rent or buy a place to live in?
It really depends on, because sometimes we can't afford to buy an apartment or house, so it's recommendable to rent the house or apartment in which we like to live in. But sometimes, if we have access to money, to a great budget, we can buy the house, or even sometimes we can loan the money from bank. In this way, I think it's good too, because in this way we are investing actually our money
Okay,
in
and
a
how
home.
easy is it to find a place to live in your country?
In my country, actually, it's very hard, because nowadays the money that we are earning is very low, and the budget that all of the people have is very low. So because of that, we can't buy actually an apartment, because inflation is very high, and
Mhm.
comparing to sorry
And
comparing to the
why do you think this situation, this condition is happening in your country?
I think because of the those who are in the power, and now we are
Mhm.
suffering so much because of the corruption that they have. Because most of them are corrupt people, and because of that, I think we have such problems. So I think we should uh, change our lifestyle, or change something to don't have these problems, or
Mhm.
maybe we should choose a better president to manage or handle our country.
Okay, and do you agree that there is a right age for young adults to stop living with their parents?
Definitely yes, but again, it depends, because in Oriental countries, like my country in Iran, most of them young peoples are related very much to their parents, so it's very hard to separate them. But in Occidental countries like USA, it's very easy to young people to get independent, because when it comes to get independence, they have their own job, they have their own occupation, and they can separate easily. But unfortunately,
Okay,
in my
and
country,
how about couples? What options are available to young couples who are looking for accommodation in your country?
uh, again, unfortunately, there isn't any option, or the option that exists are very low, and most of the couples can't afford to get a loan, or they can't afford to buy a new apartment. So most of the
Mhm.
couples nowadays, they are living with their parents, or um their parents economically are supporting the young couples to buy apartment or to rent apartment to live in.
Okay, and now that you're talking about houses and apartments for couples and different people, do you think there is a pleasure involved in making a home for ourselves?
Yes, why not? Because actually, when you are making your own home, you decide to put, for example, different rooms in different places, or you can choose these spaces, these different spaces, and you are the person who decide to plan the home. And I think it's very good. It has a good sensation to choose the different spaces that you will live in. Yes, it's. I think it's very. It has very joy, and it's very pleasant to do that.
Okay. Thank you so much. Great.
You're
This is the
welcome.
end of the speaking test. Now you can just relax, and I will need like 2 minutes to add up your
Hmm.
score in different criteria. And
Okay.
right here, I just mute myself, and then I'll be
Hmm.
back to you.
Silver and VIP. This package is comprised of the offline educational videos for the 4 skills, including listening, reading, writing, and speaking. In these videos, you will learn all the necessary techniques that you will need to apply for the IELTS exam. Apart from the educational videos, you will have full access to enormous resources to practice the strategies that you learn. Once you finish your course, you will have 2 and 4 online mock tests of speaking, along with comprehensive feedback under the same conditions in Silver and VIP courses, respectively. Also, you can send us your writings to be checked out and receive comprehensive feedback on those. You will also have 60 3-level British-based podcasts produced by the Academy, not only to help you improve your listening, but also to enhance your vocabulary range and pronunciation. In addition to all the mentioned resources, you will be provided with useful grammar and collocation files to get your target score with a better level of knowledge. Join us and become our next successful candidate.
Okay, so now let's see what you did. But first, you tell me, what do you think of your performance? How do you think it was?
Um, I don't know. I think I was not very well prepared because actually I think it's a long time that I haven't spoken in English. So I think that as I was not very well prepared. I'm not satisfied from myself.
Okay, but let's see what you did because
Hmm.
now I want to talk about the different criteria and
Hmm.
different parts, what you did, your performance, so you'll see how you can boost your
Okay.
score or what a strategy,
Hmm.
what strategies you can apply.
Hmm.
So, Reza, first I want to give you a general idea of part 1, 2, and 3, what you did, and then
Hmm.
we can move on to the
Okay.
criteria. So in part 1, as you know, you are asked short questions in 3
Hmm.
different topics, and you should give short answers. Everything was okay. You were able to talk about the different topics. I asked you questions about your house, about chocolate, and about dream. There was just one problem in about the dreams. You said, "Do you mean dreaming
No, I
or?"
didn't hear well. The
So
last word I didn't hear well.
So in
Hmm.
that case, never ask for the definition of the question
Hmm.
or the examiner to explain, clarify what the question is, because we are not allowed to do that.
Hmm.
So maybe you can just say, "Can you please repeat your question?"
Hmm.
That's all. And the examiner will repeat the question with the same pace, no change
Hmm.
in the words, and you will not lose marks on that. So you can ask
Hmm.
once or twice to repeat the question, no problem with that.
Hmm.
Generally, it was okay. I mean, I just repeated the same question and it was fine. So the only problem that I can mention is that not a problem. You should just know where to stop in part 1 because I had to stop you to ask you the next question.
Hmm.
So in part 1, if you give me the answer, you explain about it, and you give me the example, then you can say yes. So this is my answer. Done. And then I can move on to the next question. So part 1 is like 3 sentences, 3 complex sentences, and not more. For example, I say, "What kind of house do you live in?" You could say that to talk about my accommodation. I can say
Hmm.
that I live in a cottage near the lake, which is
Hmm.
one of the most beautiful and coziest places I have ever been to. I
Hmm.
should also mention that I live there with my mother, who is the most important person in my life.
Hmm.
So this is the house I live in. Mhm.
Hmm. Okay.
This is how you can answer, and then you stop. So make sure to stop sometime, because if you don't, the examiner will stop you.
Hmm.
Now to talk about part 2, you did a very great job in part 2 because you covered your 2 minutes, and I could see that you are covering the bullet points one by one, That was a very, very good thing. And then I had to stop you. So no problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
In part three, you gave me longer answers. That was okay. You understood all of them. You did your best in using the vocabulary that you could use in part three. And of course, I had to stop you again because you just kept talking. So you should just know where to stop. That's the
Okay.
only thing that I recommend you. No problem with that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's better to stop somewhere. And so this is all about the three parts. Now, if I want to start with the criteria, the first one, which is your fluency and coherence, I can say that in your fluency and coherence, the good thing was that, as I mentioned, you are able to keep talking. So you speak fluently, you have that flow of speech. You didn't have many hesitations, or the ones you had were to look for ideas. And that's a good
Mm-hmm.
thing. Um, I can say that you didn't have many self corrections. You had some self repetitions because sometimes the questions were similar, especially in
Mm-hmm.
part three, and you repeated the same ideas sometimes. But your topic development was very good. You explained, you used examples, your experience. Everything was okay for you to get a seven, but you got a six in your fluency and
Mm-hmm.
coherence, and it has a reason. That's because you didn't use a range of connectives. You
Mm-hmm.
were just using and, so, but, because. That's
Mm-hmm.
all. So, especially in part two, you said something blah blah and blah blah and blah blah and. So, if you just add some more connectives and better discourse markers to your speaking, like instead of I think, you can say in my opinion, or from my
Moreover,
perspective, from my
beside,
point.
indeed.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Okay.
yes, exactly. Indeed, absolutely, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
If you use them, you can get a good score, better score in your fluency and coherence, and also your grammatical range and accuracy. So because of this, you got a six, you can get a seven. So use
Mm-hmm.
better connectives, better discourse markers, and avoid some self-repetition and refer to some newer ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to talk about your lexical resource, I can say that you were not using good connectives, but you were using good boosters and fillers to buy some time. You started your answers naturally with these fillers to buy some time to talk about what you like, what you dislike. You used them very well, and you used some less common vocabulary. For example, breathtaking, but the pronunciation was not correct. You said breathtaking, which is breathtaking, but you used the word lose the track of time, a full-time schedule, cutting edge, put restrictions on something to be affordable when it comes to something, the
Mm-hmm.
inflation, and loan from bank, which was get a loan from bank.
Mm-hmm.
Loan
Mm-hmm.
is not a verb itself. So you were using this range of vocabulary um, in a good way. And I liked your paraphrasing. You used some synonyms, you paraphrased my question naturally, so that was a very good one. And because of all these things, you got a seven in your vocabulary, your lexical resource. To just guarantee this score for yourself, maybe you can use, first of all, use some idioms, some idiomatic vocabulary. That's
Mm-hmm.
the first thing. And the second thing is to use the collocations
Mm-hmm.
maybe more flexibly, not to repeat the same words. Maybe you can
Mm-hmm.
use other words just to guarantee this score for yourself. Now, before I move on to your grammatical range and accuracy, do you have any questions so far? Any doubts?
No, no, nothing.
Okay, then. So now to talk about your grammatical range and accuracy, you got a six in your grammar, and that also has a reason. The reason is that as I told you, you were accurate, you were coherent when you were talking to me, but there was a mix of simple and complex structures.
Mm-hmm.
Like as you were using relative clause, you have a very good command in using relative clause in English, in which, that, who, if you were using them correctly. You used some conditional sentences, but it seems to me like you had problems with conditional sentences.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if I will be vaccinated, I can, no, if I am vaccinated,
I will.
I will do something, because if clause cannot be in future. And like twice or three times, you were kind of hesitant with the conditional
Mm-hmm.
sentences. Maybe you could use more compound sentences, like, for example, definitely it was something I was looking for. The adverbs in the beginning of the sentence or subordinate clause. For example, as I was walking, she came to me. Two clauses in one sentence. And that's about the complex sentence. So you were using complex structures, but at the same time, you were using simple structures like a short sentence and one clause sentences. And you made some grammatical mistakes. For example, it was mostly with singular and plural. Let me tell you this way. So be careful because
It's
you
my
know the
weakness.
grammar. Just be careful. For example, you said one of the adorable presents, lots of problems. Or you said people's is people. Most of the apartments.
Yes.
And it really depends on, no, it really depends. If you don't want to mention what, it depends on the noun, no preposition. It really depends. Or it really depends on my daily routine, on something. Very joy, lots of pleasure, lots of glee. Not very. Very plus adjective, lots of, or a lot of plus noun. So that was all about it. You didn't make many grammatical mistakes, but mostly they were with singular and plural. Maybe if you use conditional sentences better and you use more connectives, you can make more complex structures. That's about your grammar and your pronunciation. You got a 7 in your pronunciation because you were clear and easy to understand. You had, at some point, you had the intonation, how you raise and lower your voice. That was a good one, but you also had some mispronunciations. For example, breathtaking, you said breathtaking. Breathe is the verb, has E at the end, but breath is the noun, no E. And favor, which was flavor, you wanted to say flavor, you said favor. Cafe is coffee. Cafe is coffee shop. Coffee is what you drink. Facilities, no, facilities. The word is choice. Facilities. So you have these mispronunciations, maybe, and all of them were when you were speaking fast. You were thinking, and you wanted to talk. You wanted to give me a very quick answer, and because of that, you made these mistakes. So the key for you when you get stressed or when you don't know what to say is to lower your pace. That's the key. So you can change your pace to buy yourself some time, and then you can go back to your normal pace. Do that. And generally, I can say that your pronunciation was okay. Maybe you can just give a better intonation sometimes to the end of your sentences, the end of your questions. And my recommendation to you is to just listen to some podcasts, some daily podcasts, not scientific ones or these things, how people are sitting and talking to each other. And listen how they use the rhythm and intonation and emotions in their speaking, and repeat after that. It can help you in these 2 weeks. You don't really need to learn anything new. Maybe just some idioms that you can use in different topics, add some connectives to your speaking, and use those collocations, those synonyms more flexibly in your speaking while you are listening to podcasts these days. So generally, to talk about your overall band score, you got a 6 in your fluency and coherence. You could get a 7, a 6 in your fluency. In your lexical resource, you got a 7. Just be careful to guarantee this one for yourself, not to get a 6. You can get a 7. In your grammar, you got a 6. In your pronunciation, you got a 7. So generally, your overall band score would be a 6.5. And you should just stick to the strategies that you learned that you can use today. Of course, you knew it, but now you know what you should do under real exam conditions. And then you can maybe get this score or a better score in these 2 weeks. So, do you have any questions for me?
No, thank you for tips.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, I wish you best of luck, and I hope your mom is feeling better.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And if you don't mind, we can share the video on YouTube. If not, we wouldn't do that.
Yeah, why not? I don't have any problem.
Thank you. So please let me know if you have any questions, any doubts. I will be at your service. And
Question, just I know lots of vocabulary and collocations, but when it comes to talking, I don't know why I lose all of them or I can't use them accurately. It's a little difficult to me.
Um, if you want to use more of your collocations, because it's impossible. Sometimes they give you a topic and you have to use the ones related to that one. Maybe you don't remember, maybe you don't know which ones to use. By going off the topic or by using some collocations, learning some collocations that you can use in different topics, you can do that. Like when they ask you a question about, for example, your houses, and you know some collocations about causes and reasons, for example, the root cause of something, for example, a collocation. Then try to go off the topic a little, use that collocation naturally, and then go back to the topic. So this is the technique you can apply. Or don't expect yourself to use all of them. Just write down the ones that you're sure you can always use, and use those things. Because in the exam, if you use some collocations, less common collocations, then you will get a good score. You don't need to be using them in all of your sentences. So the first thing is to write down the ones you can use in a notebook and just use them. Or by going off the topic, you can give a range to collocations you're using.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So if you have no questions, we can say goodbye.
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
There you go. So have a nice time and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.